Alright, welcome to SouFLoTV again, everybody. It's your host with the most. This one is called 5 Questions with SouFLoTV. Alright, and I'm not even going to talk too long about no intro. We're going to go right into the 5 questions because we don't want the thing to be too long. So, the first question is,
I had to get it on my lonely, wasn't nobody there for me, had to get it by myself.
where was I born exactly? I was born in Clarendon, Jamaica, straight to the point. When I started doing YouTube, a lot of people were being vindictive, I guess, and they would put up stuff like, he's not even Jamaican, he's from Trinidad, or he's from some other place, some other small island or something, trying to be Jamaican or pretending he's a Jamaican, because I would speak English most of the time and not Patois. And I was doing that for a reason, because I wanted the audience, majority of the people that watch, majority of people out there speak English, right? And if I go into just hardcore Patois, I would be alienating some people, especially when I'm trying to teach with certain subjects. So I was speaking English and they weren't really buying it from me. They were like, I used to get comments like, if y'all gonna talk Patois, just talk Patois and done, dog. Or if y'all gonna do your Yankee thing, just do your Yankee thing and done. But choose a side, brother. And they, those kind of things. But I was born in Clarendon, Jamaica. Beautiful Clarendon, Jamaica. Alright. The next question is,
Ain't nobody wanna help, had to get it on my lonely, wasn't nobody there for me.
how did my early upbringing in Clarendon, Jamaica contribute to who I am today? This brings joy to my face. It brings a smile to me because I had a splendid childhood in Jamaica. I wish that I could bottle this up and give it to every child. I had a wonderful childhood. Don't get me wrong. There were times when I was disciplined that I thought it was abuse or borderline abuse, and sometimes downright abuse. But these are things, this is the regime we came up under. So how did the early upbringing in Clarendon, Jamaica, let me see now, contribute to who I am today? Well, I can tell you that my respect for other people, listen to this. I come from a time and a place in Jamaica where you said good morning and you said good evening or good afternoon, depending on whatever time of the day it was. We did not grow up walking past elderly people or adults as children and not greeting them. And it was your duty to greet them first. Them not to talk to you, you know. They didn't have to say a word to you. You had to greet them first, which showed their position of superiority, and also as an adult, a respected adult in the community, and also it showed your respect for grown people and your good upbringing from your home, right? So we would walk in a room. If there were grown people in the room, we were supposed to say good afternoon everyone or good evening, and then they would, or if you walked in a room and you didn't speak and you didn't greet anybody, you would hear somebody say, well, watch out, you're brighty. You know, see big people sit down in there. You just come in, so you don't say nothing. Oh, I'm sorry. Good evening, Master George. Good evening, Mr. Jones, and good evening, Mr. Simmet. That is how it went, right? So that's how I grew up. So my respect for people, everything about me, my foundation is Clarendon, Jamaica. I was raised in Clarendon, Jamaica by my grandparents who themselves, I've told the story before, they were farmers. My grandmother wasn't a farmer though. She worked at a high school at one point, and then she was also a police officer for a short period of time. But between her and my grandfather, who was a farmer, Grandpa used to do commercial farming, which means we would have a long line of people coming over to our property, and they would line up and they came to work. And I was young, I didn't really understand these things. I was just wondering, how come we killing 250 chickens today? Cut off the chicken neck them, there were like pans with water boiling on big, some kerosene pan then call them, with water boiling on some big stones, and you them one person cut chicken neck off, other people are dipping them and strip them. I realized that he was actually supplying grocery stores and shops, right? So the work ethic, watching this man go off into the woods late in the night, I mean early in the morning before daylight even come out, and before I would go out and before we would go to school, he would come back with bananas or something and drop them off on the front veranda. And my grandmother, she would wake up every morning and I could, her breakfast, the roast breadfruit, and then you fry it over in the morning, that with scrambled eggs, or that with some, whatever she cooked that morning. Ackee and saltfish could have been left over from the night before, or just anything. All these kind of things. It taught me family. It taught me respect. It taught me a work ethic that is unstoppable. It taught me hard work pays. It also taught me not to get mixed up. Y'all be on SouFLoTV, you hear me comment a whole lot of times about my grandmother said, or my grandfather said. Basically, in a nutshell, everything about me is, this is where I got it from. The respect for people, respect for others as you would want to be respected, treat others how you would want to be treated, help people when you can. I grew up right across the street from the church, and believe it or not, that's when church was church. I don't think church is church anymore, and I don't think pastors are pastors anymore. Our pastor lived in the community, and our pastor had the same kind of house that we had, and our pastors pretty much were people we can reach out and touch. You know what I'm saying? So it's a whole different world now. My drive, my determination, my everything, I owe it to Clarendon, Jamaica. That's why a lot of videos I do, you hear me say, big up Clarendon, I might place that, and so on and so forth. Right? Because I'm a true Clarendonian. For real, for real. Alright. Number 3 question is...
Had to get it on my lonely, me, myself, and I. Want nobody to phone, nobody.
Okay. My biggest accomplishment in the USA so far, I would say, is my years of military service, and using that to propel it into paying for attending and then graduating university, and then finding work in my career field that I went to school for. Because a lot of people go to school and then they get out of school and they can't find work in their field. I was able to get out of school and find work in my field, and I became a traveling therapist in the field of occupational therapy. And I think that's a huge accomplishment in itself. On top of that, I can't leave out my children. I have 1 daughter and I have 4 boys. A lot of people don't know. They're like, SouFlo, you have 5 picnic? Yeah, I'm the father of 5, and I'm proud to be a father of 5. And that's why I reason with intelligence, because I know that little brains and eyes are looking at me, and I don't want my kids to ever be like, oh my God, that's my dad. Ew, why is he talking like that? Why did he say that? How come he's like that? Don't get it twisted. My children are still getting the same old Caribbean / Jamaica / Clarendon, the same roots and culture that I grew up with. And my mom doesn't live far from where I live, so she's like, yeah, they have a real grandma. You know what I'm saying? A real grandma. And my mom is very accomplished in life as well, on all angles and all levels. A very intelligent woman, and she makes sure that her grandbabies are in line. You know what I'm saying? And well taken care of. I told somebody one time, I said, I could have never been the type of guy that had children and then didn't care for them, because my family like my grandparents, they would not stand for it. My mom would definitely not stand for it. So that's my biggest accomplishment so far in the US. My children graduating university, financing myself through university after a military experience. Those are my biggest accomplishments so far.
Had to get it by myself. Ain't nobody wanna help.
What made me start vlogging on YouTube? Okay, so this was my last deployment, right? With the military, and I was in Iraq at the time. And by this time, we had gotten like an area where you could use computers in the FOB. And a FOB is like forward operating base. And I would go out, run my missions. I was in the infantry. We would do night missions, day missions. But this one particular day, I was out all day. And by the time I came back into the FOB, everybody was gone to sleep or everybody was down. So I went, grabbed some snacks, and went on the computer. Oh man, I could talk to my family and send a quick email here and there and browse through some stuff and see what's going on. To tell you the truth, I did not even know much about YouTube. And somebody said, yo, check this out, and showed me some crazy video on YouTube. YouTube used to be crazy. It's not crazy anymore. And I looked at the video and I was like, where's that from? And they said, YouTube, get on YouTube and you can find a whole lot of crazy videos. So I got on YouTube, and for some reason I just typed in Jamaican dance hall music and entertainment, stuff like that. Let me see what comes up, because I know the computer is a machine, and whatever you type in, it's going to give you some kind of a reply for it. And of course, what came up was DMR News, Dancehall Music Review. And at the time, it was two hosts to the show, CV and Fox, right? And I started watching this show all the time, and I said, I was in Iraq, but I said, yo, I can do this. I think I can do this. But yeah, so basically that's who. Now, people are going to say, so what happened with DMR, and I mean, you're in the vlogging world and they do their thing, so have you ever reached out to, but there was an issue at one point. So I had reached out. I'm going to say it again. I had reached out to a whole bunch of vloggers. So I came home from the military. I went to school. When I was attending university, this time, anatomy and physiology and them thing there bust up my brain. But I was determined to get through school. So I attended university, and while I was there, I said, you know, when I get out of school, I want to do my own YouTube channel. Because by now I was home and I was able to spend more time exploring YouTube, and I liked what I saw. So I reached out to many Jamaican vloggers, trying to figure out how to get this started in the YouTube world, and nobody replied. One person replied, and it was CV from DMR. And because I'm a grateful person, I never forget people that at least replied when everybody else didn't, right? So I gave him a shout out one time, and I said, yeah, he replied when nobody else didn't. He took it and he went on some show in Jamaica, Nightly Fix, and he said how he's the one that taught me how to navigate this thing and the ins and outs of the YouTube is a crazy world or something. And he never said anything like that. Me and him never had a conversation to where he directed me on how to get through YouTube. That for itself was a lie. So I started saying to myself, like, why are these people telling like unnecessary lies? You know, you didn't teach me how to do anything about YouTube. The only response he gave in the email was, yeah man, you just have to just do it. So I was like, oh, because I thought, and it was good response, you just have to just do it. I thought there was a committee you had to go sign up to, talk to this person, they put you on. I didn't understand how it worked. When I heard you just grab your camera and you just go and you learn along the way, shit, you just have to just do it. I just did it, right? And then I heard that. So there's a big falling out. And then he started talking. It wasn't no falling out because it wasn't nothing to begin with. He got on social media and started talking about how I said that I wanted to be a part of his thing. And I was explaining that I didn't say I wanted to be a part of your thing, a part of DMR. I wanted to be a part of this thing, this vlogging world, right? Oh, lie, tell man, the boy said he wanted to be a part of my thing. You know what I'm saying? So once I saw that, and it was a huge deal for a long time. A lot of disrespect and all this other stuff, so I just stayed far from it. But actually that is how I started that's what sparked. It was me seeing DMR with Fox and CV that I started to say, yo, I could do, but I wanted to do something different, right? Not just that. I was the one that came and championed the cause of, there's too much stuff going on in Jamaica that is being swept under the rug, and the society is just decaying. Like, look at the murder rate per year. And I said, why is nobody vlogging about this? It should be a whole channel that talks about our socio-economical issues, and then you can add the fun and entertainment to it. So that was my angle, and I did it, and then boom. A lot of other vloggers, they beat me for it first. Hey boy, you always make Jamaica look bad, and next thing you know, they started doing it too. Go on pretty much any Jamaican vlog channel and you hear about the crime and violence in Jamaica on a daily basis now. They regurgitate the news just like how the news spit the news out now, with no reasoning behind it or anything. But that was my angle, and I started that.
On my side, all they ever told me was about how they gon' ride. Took a while for me to see that they was lying. Had to get it on my.
What you want everyone to know about you? What I want everyone to know about me is that I am a respectful person. I am also someone who thinks deeply. I'm not a fly off the handle kind of person. I'm a very friendly person, but I'm not a very public person. And I want everyone to know that about me is that I pour my heart and soul into my channel, SouFLoTV. It's my baby, right? And I want them to know that my intentions for others is as good as my intention for myself. And that's what I want everyone to know about me. So we're going to leave it right here, right? Alright. Leave your comments in the comment section below. Tell me what you think about this one. It's SouFLoTV. Like, comment, share, subscribe. This was 5 questions with SouFLoTV. And if you want me to answer 5 more questions, leave them down there in the comment section below. I'm out. Peace.
Only me, myself, and I. Want nobody there for me, nobody on my side. All they ever told me was about how they gon' ride. Took a while for me to see that they was lying. Did it by my lonely, I ain't take no handouts, I ain't do it then, so